Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be a new installment of my Axial Yeti, not so RTR. Now I've had this vehicle for quite some time, and I've had probably the most fun with this vehicle out of almost anything here at the RC Network, and I've got to say that this thing in its current state is very, very nice to drive. You basically just throw a battery in it and you can do almost anything with this Axial Yeti. So I saw a few new items released from Vanquish products, and there's some other new stuff heading on its way in here to the RC Network that I'll show you in a future episode. But this episode, you're going to see 3 upgrade parts kind of shown, and then also shown installed towards the end of this video. So wanted to show off these things. I really excited about especially one of them. But right here, this is going to be the STRC toe block / skid plate made out of aluminum. I picked up the gunmetal gray just to keep the kind of gunmetal gray theme on the front of this vehicle, although I do have lots of silver on the back. But this thing basically is that front toe block and pin capture for the front. Also kind of connects the front bumper to the front of it. So I thought this would be a good added item. I've actually picked this up about several months ago, but never got a chance to install it with all the projects going on. So, but got that thing. 2 new items that were just released from Vanquish products. This was probably a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. These are the front Castor blocks, specifically for the Yeti. So very nice that they kind of came out with the full set. So now you can have the knuckles and also the Castor blocks to match. So if you remember, I had to kind of shave down portions of those hot racing ones to get them to fit exactly with the Vanquish ones. So these should fit on hopefully with no problem, and just wanted to add a little bit more strength up to the front there without having to trim anything. So last thing, and this thing is the thing I'm most excited for, these are the officially licensed Curie Enterprises AntiRock sway bars for the rear of this thing. Now, of course, I've beefed up the rear a little bit, but this is going to give some added looks, maybe a little bit more adjustability, and just, it's Curie. You can't beat that. So right here, there's a quick model number for you guys. Just picked this up. I think this is pretty much fresh off the boat, and I can't wait to kind of get these things installed. So I'm going to get wrenching here, show you guys how these things look in the latter part of this episode. Alright, I'm back now, and I went ahead and got those 3 items installed on my Axial Yeti. You know, really got to say, these things are really meant for this rig, and it's nice to see. Originally, when I did a lot of these upgrades, they were like, you know, kind of for the Exo or for the Wraith, not really for the Yeti, because I had one of the first Yetis out there, and a lot of the parts, you know, as they fit okay, they weren't really intended for the Yeti. Now, with these items, these are all specific Yeti items, and these are very, very nice. So I've got to say that the companies have done a great job of kind of evoluting to you know, newer parts. So the first thing that I put on was that STRC front hinge pin holder, and I got to say that, you know, a little bit of added security up here on the front when you're plowing into things or hitting things. Great to have a little aluminum piece on there. Also for the hinge pins, just keeping them straight. No more plastic to kind of, you know, buckle around on. With that, I did put on the C-hubs here. These are Yeti specific C-hubs from Vanquish. Very, very nice quality. Fit onto the Vanquish knuckles perfect. Now, the only reason I switched out the hot racing ones was kind of completed my cart, so to speak. So when I purchased the front hinge pin, the Curie AntiRock, this kind of completed it for some free shipping issues. So anyways, added those on. They fit on perfect. And I didn't have to modify those like I did on the hot racing. Whenever you're kind of mixing brands of aftermarket parts, you may have to tweak things to get them to fit perfect, because they're intending it for the stock plastic parts. So these two fit together very perfectly. So you'll see here I'm missing some turnbuckles. I just ordered up the Vanquish turnbuckles to complete the front end of this thing. The ones I had on there pulled out on a very bad crash, so I ended up picking up a full set of new ones from Vanquish. So on the far side here, and this was kind of like the item to talk about, these new Vanquish Currie AntiRock sway bars. These things are super cool. Now, I'm really hoping that the durability of these things will be great, because there was a little bit of what if type of questions that I had, and it all had to do with how these things mount up here. Now they use a little 2mm set screw to hold on to that bar that goes all the way across. Now if you remember the stock one, there's a bar that is kind of like U-shaped that pretty much connects all of the sway bar. This one, you have this nice aluminum piece here, Curie copyrighted, I'm sure, but it just sets on with just 2 little set screws on either side and has some brass fittings on here. So I think the brass fittings will be good. I'm just hoping that there's no issues with those screws either backing out or stripping out, because when I snugged them down with Loctite, you can kind of feel the aluminum just almost start to give way. So hoping that's not going to be an issue. On the bottom side here, these titanium links here with the Revo rod end, super solid, no issues with that. You do have some adjustability here, and then that's basically it. So as far as the Yeti adjustability, infinite with the way you can mount the sway bar, and it looks pretty good. So I really like the looks of it. It just kind of completes the rest of my rear end of the Yeti here, getting it super solid. So, well guys, that is it for this episode. I have other parts flowing in, so please stay tuned for those episodes. There's going to be lots of other different things, including a new body that you guys will see later on this week. So stay tuned for that. Comments, questions on down below, and as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.